Super strength is not punching a hole through a wall. Super strength is punching your arm into a lump of meat. What you are thinking of as super strength is invulnerability with a sprinkle of telekinesis. That kind of power looks a lot like Ochako's gravity cancellation. Unlike the strain and burden inflicted on Midoria, Izuku's one-for-all quirk is powerful in purpose and abilities. The hopes and powers of heroes passed down through generations and the strength to one-shot a mountain. Midoriya's greatest ability isn't his power, but how he uses it. I see three ways this story can center around super strength. One, you have the character destroy the world around them, destroy themselves, or find a resolution that removes their most prized skill off the table. Midoriya's use of One for All covers all those swimmingly. We watch him cave in skulls while trying not to lose his ability to feed himself, using his mind to strategize his way to victory. For me, One for All is a power transfer quirk, the ability to transfer distilled raw energy that can be used to increase someone's physical skills. The most noticeable side effect is the granddaddy of all powers, super strength, the most common ability, almost to the point of being standard for most superpowered characters besides super speed and flight. It's so common that no one ever thinks what goes into super strength. Durability. It's a given that your character's body can put up with the impact of your blows, or your joints won't crack under the pressure of you holding back a building. It gets overlooked like most powers, and their secondary requirements, or the basis of needing the energy to power the damn thing. That is what makes Midoriya in his trials of using One for All entertaining. He faces the consequences of not being ready to wield such great power. For super strength to work like you commonly see, the character would have to have some sort of telekinesis to keep themselves from falling through the ground, or the object they're lifting not fall apart, which is why I made my case for Ochako being one of the strongest in Class 1A. Super strength users also need to have resistant skin. Think of a time where you punched or kicked something and how your skin felt afterwards. They would also need bones that could hold up tons of weight, and muscles that could not only resist the strain of any human strength, of being able to withstand the torque of flinging your arms at supersonic speeds. With Midoriya, the lack of those required powers adds a dramatic limit to his quirk. Unlike the decades All Might have to tolerate and tap into the stockpiled energy, Midoriya's body has to do everything he can with duct tape and superglue to hold his body together. This taps into his intelligence and flexibility as he fights his way to be the #1 hero, something not seen often with super strength. The stock ability of the brutish or the dumb. Super strength is not typically technique driven, unless dealing with someone on equal footing. Most characters tend to rely on their strength in its rawest form, but Midoriya's inability to use One for All fully allows him to do something not commonly seen: train to better understand his limits, and find ways to control and work around it. We see what goes into his tactics and how he deals with a handicap, bringing stakes and a reason to care in his battles. Midoriya not focusing on his strength alone makes him deadlier than you can imagine. For example, think of Superman, super strength, super durability, and some sort of tactile telekinesis. That's all he usually needs, unless he fights someone with similar strength. Then he's in for a slugfest. Imagine if Superman learned martial arts, or used high-tech gadgets. Unlike Superman, Midoriya can train with normal humans, so he can add more to his repertoire than just punching whirlwinds or flicking supersonic boogers. Like many shonen protagonists, he learns new techniques from teachers, enemies, and rivals to master his powers. He also concentrates on supplementary experiences and tactics beyond One for All. Because of his unbridled strength and drawbacks, Midoriya is far more interesting as a superpowered character. His power has stakes behind it, due to the cost on his body. Most people with abilities have an unknown limit or energy. Their only price comes from a fatigue that magically disappears when they need to put the opponent away. Midoriya doesn't have that luxury. He has a limit on usable appendages. So we're on the edge of our seats, waiting to see how he gets it done. Which, for me, makes him more interesting as a character, especially a superpowered one. But what do you think of Midoriya's One for All use and his drawbacks of having all of this strength with such a fleshy, weak little body? So far, he's getting better.